Hello, my friend. I have one question for you. Do you feel fulfilled? And by fulfilled, I do not mean happy. I don't mean, do you feel happy all the time? I mean, do you feel deeply fulfilled in your life? That is to say, do you feel engaged in your life? Do you feel connected to yourself? Do you feel in tune with that deep life force moving through you, wanting to animate and express itself through you? Do you feel vital and alive as you meet and greet your day? If yes, awesome. But if no, I would like to know why. I invite you to ask yourself honestly, what do you think it is that's standing between you right now and that deeply fulfilled life you yearn for, you long for, and you know deep down you're meant to live? What I know to be true from my own experience and from working with the hundreds of clients and students just like you is that the one thing standing between us and a deeply fulfilled life, between where we are right now and a life of fully actualized potential, is fear. And the number one fear that stands between us, where we are right now, and that life of fulfillment is a fear of being fully seen and fully known, which is to say, a fear of being truly authentic. Now, the thing is, when we are gripped by that fear, living in service of that fear, we rarely know it in the moment because our fear does not announce itself to us as such. It doesn't say, hey, I'm just your fear over here, protecting you from the anticipated pain of living fully. I'm just here to protect you from failure or your fear of rejection or being alone or not being seen or understood or not being good enough. No, because if our fear, whose sole purpose is to protect us from anticipated pain, if our fear announced itself to us as fear, we would be a whole lot more likely to question it. We'd be a whole lot more likely to look it in the eye and say, do I really need the services of this well-meaning but rather overbearing bodyguard by my side every day? Maybe not. Maybe not. No, our fear never, very rarely, reveals itself as what it really is. Because if it did, we'd probably not listen to it as much as we do. And it wants to be listened to. It wants to keep us safe, comfortable, and static. How then do you know if you are living in the grip of fear of being seen or being known? Well, there are 6 number one fears, 6 behaviors, patterns of behaving that are indicative of living with the fear of your own authenticity. And here they are. Number 1, the belief that if you really say yes to your desire, if you really say yes to your hopes and your dreams, that thing burning in you to be realized and actualized, even if it's just the voice of more that you want to commit to, not knowing how it will unfold, you will be irresponsible. You will be destitute. You won't make enough money. You won't be able to feed or take care of your kids. You'll lose your house. You will be compulsive, impulsive, immature, naive, that is to say, irresponsible. Number 2, perfectionism. This is a ubiquitous fear, right? This shows up when we say to ourselves, or that little voice in our mind saying, you need to be better in order to begin. That book idea just isn't clear enough. You've got to get it nailed down more before you start. You can't commit to a new job or a new career until you get more training, another degree. You can't start dating or become more vulnerable in the relationship you're in already until you get into better shape, until you lose that weight. So we just keep kicking the can of our own potential down the road until we're ready, until we're good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, successful enough, knowledgeable enough, perfect. But perfection is an illusion, and perfection is actually for scaredy cats, as one of my favorite teachers, Brooke Castillo, likes to put it. Perfectionism is for scaredy cats. Right? It actually protects us from the anticipated pain of starting out. But what it really is it just is failing ahead of time. It's just deciding to fail ahead of time and never starting. So number three way in which we demonstrate the fear of living, the way of living in fear about living authentically. Number three, not asking for what we really want and need. Not asking for what we really, really want and need in our relationships. Our partner, our spouse, our friends, our boss, our coworkers, our colleagues, ourselves. Not asking for what we really want because we're afraid of pushing somebody away, being rejected, being unmet, being misunderstood, displeasing somebody. Which leads me to number 4, people pleasing. How many of you are people pleasers? Recovering people pleaser right here, right? That's when we say yes when we really mean no. And we rationalize doing so in all kinds of wily ways. We do it in the name of love, in the name of self-sacrifice, in the name of supporting and caring for other people. But really, it's a form of self-sabotage, showing up squished halfway, not daring to reveal who we really are, which means we're never allowing ourselves to be fully loved either. Number 5, living with a persistent sense of resentment and blame. Because really, if we're honest, we would be living that life of our dreams if it weren't for so-and-so who is gumming up the works and getting in our way. And number 6, the belief that if you are to pursue what you really want, to be who you really are, to bring all of yourself to the table, you will be selfish. Too big for your britches. Who the heck am I to do that? You will let people down. You will neglect your obligations and your responsibility to others. You will be putting yourself first in the worst of ways. Do any of these habits of behavior feel familiar to you? They sure were to me for many, many, many years. And it took a lot of work for me to recognize finally that these efforts, these well-intended efforts to protect myself from anticipated pain of living truthfully and fully, did nothing more in the end but sabotage my ability to live my full potential, to create a life in which I felt deeply fulfilled and was able to show up fully and lovingly, joyously with those I care for and love. Does this ring true for you? The wonderful author Michael Singer puts it this way. He's the author of The Untethered Soul, a fantastic classic if you haven't read it. This is how he puts it when he talks about that effort to protect ourselves from the anticipated pain of living authentically. He writes, "You will get to a place in your growth where you realize that if you protect yourself, you will never be free." Really let that sink in, because so many of us think the opposite is true. But what I know to be real is that living in devotion to self-protection only ever keeps us small. And the cost is living that life of full, deep engagement, where we are actualizing our potential, meeting the day with aliveness and vitality. My invitation to you right now is this simple. Choose to shift your mindset, to shift your commitment to potential and possibility over and above your wish to stay protected? Are you willing to do that right now? Shift your mind. I choose potential and possibility over and above my wish to stay protected. Because what I know to be true is that when we choose to prioritize that life force seeking expression through us and the vehicle of our gifts, our signature talents, and ways of showing up and loving in this world, when we choose to prioritize that above all else, including our fear of being fully seen, we come alive. Watersheds of opportunity meet us and greet us. Assistance, opportunity, possibility appears almost out of nowhere. It's really astonishing. This has happened in my life. I see this happen in the life of my clients over and over and over again. When we dare to say yes to the potential yearning for expression in us, even if we do not know how that will unfold, magic comes our way. I'd love to read to you a quote by the wonderful thinker and poet Goethe, who puts it this way: "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would have come his way. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now." Are you ready to once and for all be done with playing small? Are you ready to begin it now? Are you ready to prioritize your why over the how and have faith that when you commit and you decide to actualize yourself fully, the how will unfold and fall into place? Because I promise you, it will. But you first need to commit to your yes, to the voice of more moving through you that yearns for full actualization. Are you willing to learn how to be seen, to be known, to be authentic? If so, I have an amazing invitation to you. I have created the best coaching program I've ever put together. It is called the Full Potential Mastermind Experience, and it is a hybrid coaching program involving the best of what I do. One-on-one private life coaching with me, customized, individualized sessions every other week for the duration of the 6-month program, combined with beautifully, carefully, skillfully curated group work with a collection of other like-minded women. This is for women, gentlemen. I'll do something for men and women later, but for now, this is for women alone. So one-on-one private coaching and skillfully curated group coaching, where we have master classes together, coaching together, retreat together. So this program combines the best of both worlds, where you're doing deep personal inventory and work on those blocks that get in the way of your own actualized potential, and the group work where we actually learn to be vulnerable, which is to say courageous and brave, where we support each other in this work and support ourselves by daring to show up as all of who we are. We cannot do this work alone. We need mentorship, guidance, support, and accountability. I would love to invite you into this beautiful program. This is my baby. I'm putting my heart and soul into this place. This is the expression of my full potential, my authenticity in the world. And I would so love to help you. I have 3 spots left in this mastermind experience, and I'd love for you to explore it more fully if it feels like it resonates with you. Please read below and click on the button to fill out an application, which will be directly sent to me. Upon reading your application, I will contact you directly and will discuss this experience for you. Have a wonderful day. Much love.